This video was taken several years ago from a seminar that I did at a local sporting goods store. I'm standing in the back of a truck. There's a lot of traffic noise behind me. I'm highlighted by the sky. So from a technical aspect, it's not the greatest footage in the world, but there's some good information on it, and I hope you overlook the video quality and get the good stuff out of it.
You hear a lot of people talk about calling the hens to you. You've hunted for over 5 years. How many times have you called up hens to you that brought gobblers with you? Really? Honestly? None. None. Jerry, have you? Honestly?
No.
Well, I don't think it works, personally. You know, I think, to be honest with you, I think the hens are more apt to say, leave my gobbler alone. That turkey I told you that I mentioned a minute ago that I called at 11 o'clock, I had talked to that turkey a bunch that season. And he'd had hens with him, at least 1 or 2 hens every time I'd been around him. That particular day, I showed up at 11 o'clock and I had gone to what I thought was a nesting area, and that's where he was. I'm sure he followed that hen to her nest, and then I started calling to him, and she started scolding me, leave my gobbler alone. And he left her because she was nesting, I'm sure. And he came to me. But my point is that they talk about calling hens to you. I personally haven't had it work. I think they're confusing that with just getting in their way. I think they're confusing that with, now that don't mean that you won't get a hen to yak at you and actually I was down in Florida about last month, and I had a hen. As I was going to a gobbler that I had roosted the evening before, he started gobbling, and I pushed on a little bit closer because it was starting to get light by now. And I started hearing a hen yelp right where I just walked from. I said, well, I just walked under that one, and another one yelped over here. So I said, right here's where I'm gonna sit. So I sat down, and this hen started yelping, and I called just a little bit. Well, I called enough to let that hen know where I was, and she pitched off and swung around here to me. And she started, as soon as she hit the ground, she honestly pitched off the tree and circled and landed as close as from here to him, from at the bottom of my feet. And then she started clucking and purring. And when I didn't answer that, she started yelping. She walked away a little bit, and I felt like I had a little distance. So she'd yelp and I'd yelp. That got that gobbler fired up, and guess what? She went to him. She didn't stay with me. She went to where the gobbler was. So if you're going to call the hens to you, probably ought to gobble, but don't gobble in a place where you might get shot.